Have you ever thought about how some natural things, plants maybe, have these really surprising, almost super specific properties?
Hmm.
Not just for, everyday stuff, but even weird cravings or really distinct feelings in your body.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into one of those, Caladium seguinum. It's also called American arum.
That's right. And think of this deep dive as, well, your shortcut into a pretty fascinating bit of homeopathic materia medica.
Okay.
We're basically pulling out the key info on Caladium seguinum. It's a remedy that acts very precisely on specific body parts and even some really unusual mental states.
So our mission, yours and ours, is to kind of uncover the most important bits about this remedy for you. Stuff like its effect on tobacco cravings, those really unique physical sensations.
Yeah, give you a quick but solid understanding.
Exactly. We want to highlight what makes Caladium seguinum stand out. So let's unpack it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so its main actions. They're pretty striking, right? It hits the genital organs hard, especially with pruritus that's intense itching.
Very characteristic.
But what really stands out for me is this sensation of coldness, but only in single parts of the body. Isn't that odd?
It is very odd. And then there's that peculiar dread from motion. Any kind of movement seems to make things worse.
Right. And we have to mention the tobacco thing.
Yeah.
It's known for changing that craving, even tackling what used to be called tobacco hard.
And what's fascinating there, connecting the physical and the mental, is how that dread from motion is like a core keynote symptom for homeopaths. It helps differentiate.
Oh, good.
And for smokers specifically, it addresses headaches and, well, certain mental states. You might see extreme forgetfulness, like the description says, does not know about the occurrences of things.
Wow, that's more than just being a bit forgetful.
Oh, yeah, it's profound, like a detachment. And then there's this incredible sensitivity to noise, sometimes even a throbbing in the ear. This really precise link between mind and body is what defines remedies like this.
Okay, moving down to the stomach area. Patients might feel like their stomach is full of dry food, or there's a sensation of fluttering. And apparently a gnawing feeling right at the stomach opening that makes it hard to breathe deeply.
Right, it impedes deep breathing. And you can get acrid vomiting. And here's another unusual bit. Often thirstless, but they can only handle warm drinks.
Only warm drinks.
That's true.
Imagine that being the only thing that feels okay.
It's very specific. And if we look deeper, Caladium has very targeted actions for male and female issues.
Okay.
For men, that pruritus, the itching, is key. The glands might look very red. The organs themselves can feel larger, puffed, relaxed, cold, and sweating.
Cold and sweating. Interesting combination.
Yeah. And this truly curious detail, erections happen when half asleep, but they stop completely upon waking up.
That's quite something. Paradoxical.
Exactly. Super valuable for pinpointing of the remedy. It's also used for impotency, relaxation, even during excitement, and issues like no emission or orgasm during embrace.
Okay. And for women?
For women, again, pruritus is big, vulva and vagina, especially during pregnancy. Also, this feeling of voluptuousness and cramp pains in the uterus at night, just remarkably precise symptoms again.
The skin and breathing issues are just as specific, it seems. Get this. Sweet sweat that attracts flies.
Yeah, can you imagine? That's definitely one for the books.
And insect bites. They don't just itch, they burn and itch intensely. There's also this link where an itchy rash might alternate with asthma.
Right, that alternation is another key indicator sometimes.
And for breathing, a feel like the larynx is constricted, breathing feels blocked, and a type of catarrhal asthma where it's really hard to cough up mucus.
And the patient might even be afraid to go to sleep. You see how specific it gets across the board?
Yeah, it's incredibly detailed.
And then you have the modalities. These are the things that make symptoms better or worse. For Caladium, symptoms tend to get better after sweat after sleeping in the daytime.
Okay, better after a daytime nap.
Right, and worse for motion, which we mentioned earlier. Homeopathy also talks about remedy relationships. So Caladium is considered incompatible with arum treff, meaning they don't usually mix well.
Good to know.
But it's complementary to nitric acid, suggesting they can work well together. And it's compared with ishwagandha for sexual weakness. Typically, the dose used is like a third to sixth attenuation. That's about the dilution level.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? We've seen Caladium seguinum tackles this really specific set of symptoms, from deep internal stuff to things you notice on the outside, and even the mental state. It's definitely not a general cure-all, is it?
Not at all. It's for very particular, sometimes really unusual symptom pictures. And, it makes you ask, How do these incredibly precise observations about a plant teach us about how interconnected our bodies and minds really are?
That's a great question.
It's just a remarkable level of detail from a natural substance.
Yeah, it really is. When you think about those historical notes, like sweet sweat attracting flies or erections only when half asleep, it paints such a unique picture of how something from nature can influence us. Makes you wonder, what other super specific connections are out there in nature that maybe we're just overlooking.